Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chantelle. So this is part 2 of the DIY garden project series. If you haven't checked the first video out, click out the link here. It's full of creative and unique ideas for the garden, and that's what we're going to continue with today. So let's get started. Okay, so part 2, number 12, adding a mirror. I love using mirrors in the garden. I think they are the most versatile home decor pieces you can get, and with a little creativity, a mirror can be used in the garden as well. So just to make the mirror more fitting with my garden, I've added some MDF boards and I'm adding these bamboo strips onto the mirror just to give it that kind of boho look so it aligns with the rest of the garden. I've placed the mirror nestled among the foliage, and I feel like it really creates that illusion of a secret little garden being hid in this little space here. So yeah, mirrors are not something that you would normally expect in the garden, but I think they do add a little sparkle and a little pizzazz, and yes, they are a little theatrical, but they really help to, you know, give a statement piece and really add something different. I think it's so much fun to use unusual objects in the garden. So here I've got a ladder which I use as a climber, and this here is a space in a bar, a beach bar in Bali, and I just love how they've used these old boats as storage for ornamental pieces, for plants. It's just so creative. Most of us have got a bit of an awkward space in our gardens, usually at the side where, you know, we've not really done anything with it. It's a bit of dead space, especially if it's an area that we don't use a lot. It's so easy to forget about it. But a way to quickly spruce that up is by adding some pavers and, you know, just making a bit of a statement. So here at the side of the garden, I added some timber pavers, and then I went around the pavers and added some decorative gravel, and it just makes the area a lot more attractive, make me feel really good actually, because I used to avoid that space, but it didn't cost a lot. It was something I was able to do in a weekend, and it made such a huge difference. Fences are not the most exciting features of a garden, so if you want to spruce it up, an easy way to do that is just to add some bamboo panels. I painted these in white, really added to this space and gave it a nice tropical look. It's a budget-friendly project, and I was able to spruce up this whole area in one weekend. This is another example, but this time using bamboo half raft screen panels to really spruce up a boring brick wall. You don't have to forego your plants just because you might be living in a space where you have concrete instead of ground soil. By using planters, it will still enable you to have beautiful, luscious plants that you can enjoy all year round. A really simple way to add interest to your garden is to bring in bold colours and patterns. So whether it be a rug, or whether it be chairs or furniture or decor that's on your table, really be creative and bring in those colours that make it a fun and creative place to be and spend time in. I love palettes because 1, you can always find them for free, and 2, there's about a million different uses for them. But for this purpose, I use them as a foundation for some chairs that I've put on the garden lawn for when people come over. And then I've just used some fabric, some beautiful African fabric that I use to cover some cushions, and it creates the most beautiful, comfortable chair. Buying half decent plant pots can be pretty expensive, so one thing that I do is I either spruce up or zhoosh up old plant pots by painting them, or I buy just plain terracotta pots and I paint them to the colours that I want. It's so much more affordable than buying them already painted, and you can really get creative. Here, one of my plant pots actually broke, but I decided I was still going to use it, so this large bit here doesn't have a bottom, and that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect when it's your garden. Just some other styles of planters that I've painted myself. Some are plain. This one here was just a really cheap plastic planter, and I just used this marble spray just to give it a little bit of texture and difference. If you have a beautiful tree or trees in your garden, I think it's so nice to really highlight that. One of the ways that you can do that is to hang plants from your trees. So here I've created a little fernery, and I've got my different types of ferns that I've hung in different positions, and it really, you know, accentuates the tree and makes such a feature out of it. Although sheds are highly functional, they are not the most attractive things in our garden. But you know, just adding a coat of paint can make a whole load of difference and just make it look a lot more prettier and more attractive to look at. Anytime I'm finished with anything inside the house, or I've had enough of a particular decor piece, I always think, can I use it outside? So this was a wall decor piece that I had inside for a number of years, and I just decided to spray it and add it to a wall outside. I love the texture that it brings, and it's really just giving the piece a whole new lease of life. A fire pit is an extension of your home, really. It's a space where you can relax and socialise, and it can provide that real focal point for an outdoor sitting area. I love the fire pit because there's so many benefits. They create such a beautiful atmosphere. They really light up in the night. They're an extension of your home. You can use them all year round, and you can even cook on them. So that's about it for these tips. I really hope that they've been of inspiration to you and that you found things that you can implement in your space. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Like and subscribe. Thank you, and until next time, catch you soon.